All right, folks, Michael Legasse is our first speaker tonight. Now look, when he gets up here to speak, he's going to say some things that are going to blow your freaking mind. So put the phones off. Be quiet. I know you're thinking to yourself, oh, I should talk to that person. Not for 6 minutes and 40 seconds, you shouldn't. Now, Michael, ladies and gentlemen, is a native of St. Augustine, Florida. That makes him, well, a rarity. He is a singer-songwriter. He is a god when it comes to the guitar. Hail him and worship him. He is a singer for a legendary 5-piece festival band, the Wild Shiners. If you haven't seen them, oh yeah! His musical signature is flat picking and hollering, and if you don't know what that is, you're gonna learn. And you're gonna be amazed, people. But at the end of the day, for Michael, it's the admiration for the songs, because everything starts with the songs, everything starts with the words. Without the words and the music together, you really have nothing. His latest solo record was recorded seriously on the white sand beaches at Gator Bone Lake. His songs were inspired by the landscape, by the people, by the mad, bad, fuck it, lunatic state in which we live, Florida. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to invite to the stage Michael Legasse. Live wildly, sing out loudly. Wow.
So, I've worked in conservation for about 20 years and music for about 30 years on the weekends and whatnot, and I'm always dealing with boundaries. The boundaries of conservation lands, the boundaries of rocks to keep dumb people from driving over gopher tortoise burrows. How long should a song be? What are the words to the song? What are the chords? Who should do the promo for your band? Probably not me. But you know, those boundaries are always things that we're dealing with, and so because of my daily interaction with boundaries, this seemed like something great to talk about with you guys today. This is Murakami's Isle of the Dead. My son Grayson viewing it at the Chicago Museum of Modern Art. I think Murakami could have painted this for the size of a football field. He could have painted it on the side of a skyscraper and never stopped. But really, it's the boundaries of the canvas that really make the work powerful, because you might not take in all of that hugeness, but he said, not an index card, but a big canvas, a big canvas. This silk finch you see here is a boundary. It keeps gopher tortoises safe on one side, and the other side is for a later gopher tortoise site. But when we put that in, we had the folks come and say, oh no, you're gonna build houses on a conservation land, but they could only see the boundary without context, and so to discuss that with folks is really important, to find out their perspective. Conservation functions as a verb, and sometimes we have to do things. You don't do shit unless you do shit. So this is a prescribed fire that we put on, and it's the best available science to really manage large ecosystems, but some people get freaked out by it, and I can't blame them. It takes conversations to kind of explain some of these boundaries. This is Moses Creek. Oftentimes, people will say, leave our natural lands alone. But you know, the natural lands don't get preserved and conserved by one person speaking out. It takes a lot of folks. People have to know where they're at and what they're doing. This is Moultrie Creek. It's a water boundary. This is, you know, all of this stuff might impact that natural area, but without this kid, Sydney, sitting over here, throwing that cast net and learning what he's at, where he's at, what he's doing, he might not have an appreciation for what those boundaries represent. This is a spot at Princess Place Preserve, a place I worked for 13 years, but it can't speak for itself. It takes people to speak for it. So if we don't know it's there, how do we decide to protect it? If we don't put a trail, which is an impact to that ecosystem, how do people like you not know that it's there, to know that it has to be protected? It's important to be protected. This is Cladonia. It's a lichen that thrives in undisturbed soils and dry, scrubby ecosystems. Gopher tortoises live here, all types of flora and fauna, but you know what else lives there? Oftentimes it's houses. Houses are a great place for a dry, scrubby ecosystem. So conservation requires decision making and prioritization. What's important? What can we accept? What can we move forward? What can we move through? What impacts serve to support the long game? Conservation is a long game. Creativity is a long game. This is a jack-o'-lantern mushroom that I found also at Princess Place on the Hominy Branch Trail. I recommend you go. When I'm leaving work, I want to go where I can see no sign of man. I want to be out in the middle of woods. I can see nothing. There's no sign of people. You can see my family there, but that doesn't count. This is the Davidson River in Pisgah Forest up in North Carolina, western North Carolina. And 500 miles from St. Augustine, across 3 state lines, 4 dirt road traffic jams, and then about an hour hike. I'm way back in the woods and I come across somebody else's effort to tame or to conserve something. This is a part of a hatchery that has long been abandoned, and I could let it disturb me. I want to see nobody, no sign of humans, but this is a sign of humans. This pipe is a sign of humans. I kind of think it's beautiful because it's something that somebody did at the time that they were working, and they were doing their best to really try to make something work. People, right? But remember my prescribed fire. We might see that in 50 years and go, oh, that was the wrong tactic, you should have done whatever. But these are things we have to think about, like when we're crossing boundaries and we're thinking about how things go. Like this wall I found to be particularly beautiful. It's way up in the middle of the mountains. I'm going there to see no sign of people, but I see this and I appreciate their efforts. If I allow myself to attempt understanding and to seek beauty, I can learn to respect that effort. This was me, our family disturbing someone else's peace. We crossed their boundary and they got a little angry. They found our car, they left us on the dashboard. Florida has 350 people per square mile if you average it out, and 190 in North Carolina, so we're going where the density is less. You know, we can all understand that. This is the southeast United States. The people in the lit areas are often looking for the dark areas to find peace, and the people in the dark areas might be going to the lit areas to find jobs. We're always crossing boundaries. We have to find understanding. We have to work with each other and really try to think of people's intention and how we work together. When I come home and try to find a secluded beach, I've got an impact. Somebody impacted this dune. I'm so glad so I can get to the beach, right? I can choose to be annoyed, or I can try to be compassionate if there's somebody out there blaring some music that I don't like or doing something I don't prefer. But we're all trying to find the same thing. What a beautiful place. I still know where to go. I still know where to find peace. I still know where to find fresh air. This is Princess Place on the Red Trail. I recommend you try that out. I don't want to hide it from you. I want everybody to know where it is so we know what's important to protect. In my mind or in my camera, I always try to respect and enjoy the boundaries we cross to find what we need. And if there are people in the picture, I'll be thankful that they're there, because I can't protect these important things on my own. It takes all of us, it takes many people, many voices to really look across those boundaries and see what's important. As for now, I'll own my Florida trash status, and I'll keep working to find and protect these places, to live wildly and sing out loudly, particularly tonight. This is Lake Diston in southwest Flagler County.